This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Welcome once again to Wyoming Sports Talk today, as we have for you another program. It's going to be a shortened program. We were expecting one guest, and one guest had to bail because of a last-minute meeting, so that's okay. We can handle it on this end here for a little bit. We do want to remind you that our program is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, again, where you can use their convenient drive-thru. Also available is the Taco John's app, and also available are 5 different locations of Taco John's. South Greeley Highway, downtown on KRAE Avenue, North Yellowstone, as well as Del Range and Ridge, and Pershing and Ridge, your home for Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, where, again, they are sanitizing the facility every hour. Also have hand sanitizer there. So what AJ's telling you, can come on in and be rest assured they're going to take good care of you, kick a few tires, take a test drive, and pick out the key of your dreams. Or if you feel it incumbent to stay where you're at, that's fine. Kia has made it easy to shop online as well. So go to KiaCheyenne.com, and you can take care of the buying and leasing process there. They'll work out all the money details with you online. Plus, they'll even do your trade-in online as well, too. They'll give you Kelly Blue Book. Again, just follow the prompts. You can check out the inventory, and then you also can check out, put in the pertinent information about your current bucket of bolts, and Kia Cheyenne will give you a Kelly Blue Book value of your car for trade-in. Now, if you can't be on the lot, well, they'll make arrangements to deliver it to you, too. Again, Kia Cheyenne rather do business face-to-face, but for now, they will make sure that they take care of you via the internet as well. So, again, give them a call, 775-0123. Platte Valley Bank, banking done the old-fashioned way at Platte Valley Bank. Right now, the old-fashioned way is through the drive-thru. But if you need other assistance, please give them a call at 778-0021. Platte Valley Bank on Van High. And, again, over at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill Del Range. 2 convenient drive-thrus, again, curbside service available for you, open Monday through Saturday. And don't forget, you can use the Chick-fil-A app, too, to do your pre-ordering. Right across from Powers Field and Menards, Ray and Cindy and the whole crew invite you to come on by. Again, no ice cream cones for now. And on the milkshakes, no whipped cream or cherry on top. They're going to put the flat lid on. They're serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. You can do your business inside, which I did the other day, or you can use the convenient drive-thru. And they're next door to Texas Roadhouse, again, with your doctor's prescription. Let Gene and the great staff fill those said prescriptions, and you're ready to go at Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. And again, you have the sales office, you have the service department next door, 638-6468. Talk with Bruce and the crew as they'll get you all set up with an appliance for your kitchen. Maybe it's remodeling time. So again, check out the great selection of Frigidaire, Whirlpool, GE, Maytag that Bruce has on display on the floor. And don't forget to use the hand sanitizer when you come in to B&B Appliance and TV. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue in the Auto Glass and Detail Center, which is located on Pershing Boulevard. Right now, limited hours at the Auto Body Shop from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. as, again, safety first over at Lennox Auto Body. They're still doing the repairs, and they're still doing the painting, and they're still doing the, the Auto Glass and Detail work over on Pershing Boulevard. But call for more information or maybe an appraisal. You can reach them at 634-6608. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. And again, they're doing banking Monday through Friday. Give them a call and find out exactly how you can go about your banking these days at First Tier Bank, 632-3500. Mondello Pizzeria, which I was over talking with Joe today. Again, you still have to use the takeout facility at Mondello's. They're not ready to open their doors just yet. Even though we're into the phase 2 portion of the program, Joe says, patience, 778-6068. That is the telephone number for Mondello's Pizzeria. And again, Joe's Pie, number 1 here in Wyoming, top 10 in the nation, and you'll understand why once you have a few slices or you order up a gourmet pizza prepared by Caesar Joe and their nephew. Again, great eats all the time, along with their calzones, their stromboli, their sandwiches on fresh baked bread, whether you do a steak sandwich or a hot or cold Italian sub. It's all delicious eating all the time. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, 778-6068. And our scoreboard, which right now is it's bulbless. There's no bulbs in the scoreboard. It's blank. And when we do have a scoreboard lit, it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. So, Nick.
Yeah, as I say, there's nothing going on right now. Nothing on the horizon as of right now. But hopefully when we talk to one of our guests that was scheduled for today, hopefully we will get an update of possibly a scoreboard being in action. So hopefully that is sometime soon. But as of right now, again, as it's been for the past, 2 months at this point, it's been nada on that scoreboard.
It's been about 2 months since we did our last game, which was
that was early March.
Yeah. Where the Cheyenne Central Lady Indians beat the Lady Wolves of Green River in the opening round of the State 4A tournament. All right, again, our lack of scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
At Mountain Dew, we say here's to the doers.
The people who know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Who do it big.
Then do it bigger.
Who don't just watch.
So if there's something you wanna do,
Here's a little advice.
Grab yourself an ice-cold Mountain Dew.
then get to it.
That's right. Get going.
Get started.
Stand up.
Jump up.
Grab hold of it.
Throw down on it.
Run with it.
Now. Right now.
Not tomorrow.
Not next week.
Next month.
Next year.
Work it out.
Grind it out.
Get stoked.
Get passionate.
And do it.
Do it till it hurts.
Do it till you can't.
Do it till you've done it.
And most of all, don't ask how other people do it.
Don't ask how you should do it.
Don't ask if it can be done.
Don't ask if it's ever been done.
Because there are those who don't.
And those who do.
At Mountain Dew, we say,
Let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do.
Do the do.
For almost 30 years, I've had the pleasure to talk about Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proetti with an invitation to bring your vehicle into Cars for service and minor repairs that are done with precision and care. Now, I've known John and his staff for a long time, and when it comes to tune-ups, replacing shocks, fixing fuel pumps, replacing timing chains, working on heating and air conditioning units, or even just a good old-fashioned oil change, I only trust my car when it comes to service to be under the care of Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. They are a TechNet professional, where their work is covered by a nationwide limited repair warranty that extends across North America for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. For more information, check out technetprofessional.com on the World Wide Web. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service always goes one step above the rest when it comes to the care of your vehicle. 604 West Lincoln Way in Cheyenne, open Monday through Friday. Call and set up an appointment at 632-0498. At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today as we get together with you on this Thursday. And again, Nick, as it was reported yesterday, you know, we're into that phase two portion of the program now.
Before we get into what you're about to talk about, but again, we were set to have a guest on as of now. Again, if you saw the social media post, again, we were supposed to have Cheyenne Frontier Days CEO and President Tom Hirsig on. Again, as you alluded to, he ran into a medium, tried to reschedule for today. Unfortunately, we have another guest in that time slot that he wanted to go on. So, again, hopefully we'll be able to talk with him at a later date. Again, get the update of Cheyenne Frontier Days of where, again, here here in this city as we approach it again. As before we know it, July will be here. Hopefully, Frontier Days will also to be a go where, again, a big revenue source for this entire city. So, again, that was kind of our crux of our interview. Hopefully sometime next week we'll be able to get him on.
Well, and leading into what I was going to say, and again, Frontier Days obviously keeping an eye on what happened yesterday with the governor trying to get everybody repositioned for Phase 2, but the people I talked to today, this is interesting, especially in the food industry on the local side, not everybody's ready to open their doors yet. Even though, we're allowed to have, in some cases, they've lifted the restriction for 10 people now to 25 in a said location, but a lot of these folks are not ready for that, to give up that 6-foot social distancing right now. So,
well, again, there's obviously the mandates, the orders of, hey, you got to make sure that you got the 6 feet apart and blah, 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 blah.
But if you and I were to go out and eat, we could sit at the same table.
And again, these mandates where obviously you can't really control people wearing masks indoors where it's like, how are you going to eat? You still got to pull it down. And again, you're still going to be breathing out, breathing in at that point in time where, again, it kind of gets more and more ridiculous of, granted, it's a step forward, so to speak, where, again, those restaurants have been closed down for 2 months now, where
they've been doing curbside or takeout.
You're now allowed to get back in, but, the 6 feet apart in a restaurant or at least trying to space out tables, and, again, some are requiring to wear a mask in there. It's a little ridiculous where, again, do you feel that much more safe that you're 6 feet apart from someone if that next table that's 6 feet away from you is coughing? Again, I have no issue, but again, it's like those who are at least afraid or at least a little scared of this, and again, rightfully so. Again, the mandates, the everything, it's just...
The thing is, and I'm not going to get political on this, if there wasn't the mention of the second wave by this Dr. Fauci, I about had it with him, but my point is...
I think the rest of the country is...
Yeah, but if he wouldn't have mentioned the second wave, which will be sometime in the fall... Ladies and gentlemen, let's also remind you, too, flu happens twice a year as well, too. It happens in the fall. It happens in the spring. So, I know coronavirus is a bad thing, but, I mean, just what we don't need. And, again, here we are into Phase 2. The President of the United States wants the country to reopen, and we're doing it in baby steps. But a lot of people are very hesitant now about reopening. Their business has been and now they're willing to keep it at just simply for the fact they're not sure right now. And again, all the news that comes to these people, and this even goes in the sporting world, people just don't know. I mean, look at California right now. California,
well,
I mean,
you look at L.A. County.
Yeah,
where they're
Garcetti he shuts the whole thing down for 3 more months.
Well, again, that was more from the health officials, but he basically kind of reiterated of saying, hey, looking to extend it out to July, but they're also saying, hey, we might just do this stay at home in place until there's a vaccine. Well, there's no guarantee. Again, we don't have vaccine for other dangerous killer, diseases, for instance, again, cancer, but we still live life. Obviously, it's not, cancer, for our knowledge, is not, contagious like this thing, or again, other diseases like AIDS, HIV.
Well, they have the flu shot. I don't take a flu shot, and I'm going to be 63.
Yeah.
I don't have the flu. I haven't had the flu. The flu shot's been out forever and ever and ever. Gosh, I know your mother used to get a flu shot, but I don't want to. If I understand it right, you get a shot. First thing you do, you get sick.
Well, again, it's up to you on what you want to do with the flu
same
shot.
thing with
It's not that mandated, at least, or at least kind of required.
Yeah, are you
measles, polio?
Is it required for us to take the vaccine if it comes out?
Yeah, you wonder.
A lot of our Bill of Rights are starting to be taken away, and a lot of people are not too happy with that right now. All right, anyway, let's move on to California.
Yeah, let's focus on that, where, again, it was news breaking after we ended our show yesterday, but it does not affect kind of the major universities, or at least not a part of the university system, but it's more of the state school system there in California, where they basically announced, hey, we're going to do just online mandates, or at least online schooling for the foreseeable future. future. And then regarding football season, and this includes Fresno State, San Diego State, again, those state schools, Cal State, Fullerton, all that stuff.
But three of them in the Mountain West: San Diego State, Fresno State, San Jose State.
Yeah, but again, it was just a state school, so UCLA, USC, Cal, Stanford, they're still anticipated to play football. Again, we'll see what happens in for at least upcoming weeks, but they basically announced those three Mountain West schools and the other state schools that play football basically said, we're not doing it. We're out.
And
we're not playing football. And again, obviously it hurts heavily on the Mountain West with that, but we'll see.
It's ironic, too, with the California schools, especially as you look at California, the biggest state in the country, and yet they've had far less tragic deaths from COVID-19 than the New Yorks and the New Jerseys of the world. But yet, they're the ones that are taking the biggest precautions out of everybody. I mean, with this being said. So,
Again, only time will tell. Was it a foolish mistake by California? Is it something that rest of the states should have followed? Again, only time will tell. Only history will be written about it at later points. But again, that's kind of the beauty of this country, of where California can be completely shut down until as long as they want, where you can see other states like here in Wyoming. You look at the other Mountain West, at least states here, Colorado as well too. Arizona, Florida, both of those states have basically said, hey, pro teams, if you want to come play here. We don't care. Again, that's in Arizona and Florida. I mean, they're trying to basically court teams to come on out and play.
I mean, it's like every time this Dr. Fauci speaks, it's like it's the boy who cried wolf. I mean, everybody's just like freaking out, and then again too, you have your state epidemiologists who are Chicken Little. The sky is falling.
I think you're seeing more and more, and especially in kind of not so much mainstream media, but you're seeing it in just like folks, or at least those who are influencers around on various ways. Again, you look with of interest of what happened, or at least what came across social media sites from Barstool Sports of El Presidente with Dave Portnoy, where again that infamous, it's got about 4 million views on the respective of Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff, of where he basically said, hey, this is starting to get a little ridiculous, and for small businesses, you're pretty much killing that American dream right now. And again, he kind of laid blame on Fauci and a few other entities, saying, "Hey, this is getting a little ridiculous of what you're trying to make us do right now."
If you remember the movie with Will Smith, I Am Legend.
I haven't seen it.
You never saw I Am Legend? Oh my goodness!
I don't have time.
That was out a few years ago. Well, anyway, I mean, like I said, they should do a sequel with Dr. Fauci and the other cast that he has going with him too. The ones that are crying wolf and the sky is falling all the time. Because my goodness, that's about where the country's headed. The way he looks at all of this. And again, I'm not laughing or scoffing at COVID-19, but my goodness, people are getting sick at home, being cooped up for 3-4 months. They're getting actually sick by being in the house. There are some people that won't leave.
Which is, again, in return, just as unhealthy as
exactly.
As we're getting at this point in time, where this is a point where you should be getting out of the house. But again, if you're that afraid, or again, it should just be up to that individual. If you want to leave, or if you don't, that's up to you.
They don't want to come in contact with other humans except their own family.
You stay a hermit crab, and then you kind of pay the end results of staying inside and again just trying to be unhealthy. Where again. They're recommending, hey, get vitamin D. Go out and get the sunlight while it is springtime. And again, it's warm weather. Go out and exercise. Again, they're saying, hey, or at least the recommendations of, hey, exercises or consistent exercise is what kind of helps fight off this thing if you're that worried about it. It's a scenario where, you get that these health officials are erring on the side of caution, but it's starting to get to a little ridiculous point where you're almost starting to see a revolution again. Or
you're infringing upon our rights. Yeah. And again, it's like I said before, I have a hard time with somebody telling me what to do. I mean, there's laws, and I will obey the laws. But now, this isn't a law what's out. This isn't martial law. We got to do this.
Yeah, you're not required.
Yeah, and I'm getting to the point now. It's like every time Dr. Fauci speaks, shut up.
Yeah.
Every time you speak, the sky is falling, and it's not. And again, here in this state, for example, as of yesterday when the governor spoke, there's still only 7 people that have died, tragically, that have died from this disease. 4 of them, 6 of them in Fremont County. 5 in Fremont County. My point is, it's like, we pretty much have done what was asked of us. We said, okay, we understand. We don't want this thing to spread. And really, right now is the time where we should be taking a chance and going out and doing things. Here's another part. Baseball, for example. If they do have baseball in Arizona or Florida, okay?
Again, which has been tossed around, and there's really no guarantee. And again, it came out, I forget what player came out, a recent basically said, hey, for the at least cutting of our pay for at least a half season or whatever is anticipated, basically said, I don't want any part of that.
What did I tell you the other day?
Yeah.
So you didn't agree with me.
I'm surprised by that. And again, he was just one individual. Again,
he's one of many.
Yeah.
This is the Players Association.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I'm just saying there are probably a few other players like a Bryce Harper of the world, or again those who are well off saying, I just want to play baseball. I don't care.
A guy like Mike Trout, I would say, wants to play baseball.
Yeah.
Guys that are pretty,
But again, those who are well off, those who are making that kind of rookie salary base minimum,
they want to play.
Yeah, they want to play and they want to get their full.
They
money.
don't want to go work out at Walmart and at Sears. The point is, the deal. I picked that up from Bull Durham. Anyway, the deal is right now the players aren't going to ratify this. I can tell you, and there's more millionaires in baseball than you know.
Yeah.
So, and I said it the other day, and it's going to come to fruition. But my point is...
But this is also to a butting of heads that has
let's
gone on in various leagues of, hey, ownership, you make a lot of money. I think you could sacrifice a few bucks or at least sacrifice a few cuts.
Let's go back. I want to go back to the baseball.
For your players.
The baseball part. You have baseball on the field, okay? And you got teams in the dugout, okay? You're going to have, I think they're going to expand rosters to 30, if I'm not mistaken, under this proposal. So you're going to have a lot of people in the dugout, okay? Yeah. One guy has a cough, everybody's going to get coronavirus, right?
Supposedly.
And then you're going to have nobody in the stands, which I think is the most stupidest thing.
And again, I told you that months ago.
Yeah, I mean...
I told you that. That's going to be the reality.
And me up in the third deck, you and me in the third deck at Coors Field, and I cough. Do you think that coronavirus is going to reach down and hit Daniel Murphy at first base?
No.
I mean,
but again, it is airborne where you run the risk no matter where. Again,
yeah.
Even wearing the masks do not protect you 100%. Again, you still got to breathe, and if that thing is airborne, it's going to find a way to enter in while you're breathing. Again, the mask is not 100% guarantee of against it. So
again,
it is something where. Right now, obviously, there's no perfect system or at least perfect plan in place, but the plan that's currently in place, or at least where this kind of slow transition to opening up, is, getting a little ridiculous. And again, where you're seeing what California did, or at least those state schools saying, hey, we're not going to play football. They didn't entertain anything. They just said, hey, fall football this season, it's not going to happen. Yeah. And again, that was not from Fresno State. That was not from San Jose State individually. It was that state school system, or at least, again, those Cal State universities.
Right. As presidents.
Basically that encompassing as a whole said all these schools are not doing it. And again, that's one domino, and you wonder how many more dominoes are going to fall afterwards. Where you look at with the University of Wyoming, where as we talk with AD Tom Bourbon, and again getting the understanding. Football's still going forward. Now, what do they do? Will it be in front of empty fans there at War Memorial? Will it be at half capacity? Again, to be determined. Who will he even play right now? Again, that's up in the air because, again, you just lost 3 Mountain West opponents. But I wouldn't doubt that, again, in this kind of unprecedented time where even you look with American Legion, you look at with Cheyenne Extreme Softball, you probably look at more of the local states or at least bordering areas of who's available, who's open right now, where maybe, again, where Wyoming originally had those kind of long-distance trips, go to Clemson or go wherever, hey, maybe you just play a home game at War Memorial against Northern Colorado. You play CSU. Maybe you look to some of these Big Sky schools. You go up to the Montanas of the world, Montana State. Maybe you take on an FCS of North Dakota State or something like that.
That sounds fine.
But I think that might be the reality that you might see with the Cowboys.
Reality. The reality is these schedules are made 2-3 years in advance.
I'm just saying, could Nevada, could UNLV basically say, hey, we're joining them, we're not doing this? Could New Mexico, where again New Mexico is, at least they were trying to open up, and it sounds like they're kind of closing things back down slowly. Could the Lobos basically step out and say, yeah, we don't want any part of it?
So what are you going to do?
Could Colorado come back and just say, hey, we're closing back down as well? Again, time will only tell, but I think that might be the reality, and that's the facts that you have to face right now, especially for Cowboy football, or at least for college football. I don't think you're going to see those grand road trips or flights to go play whoever. It might be where you might have to play an FCS teams. You might have to play a few of them. You might have to play regional college football because that's all you can do.
I wish we would have been this way when H1N1 came out, because Fauci was, not touting how bad. I mean, it was a bad flu, but he wasn't telling us to do all of these things. All of a sudden now with coronavirus, we got to do everything now to shutter ourselves from this virus.
I think what we're seeing right now is more so a situation of where we are in 2020, where again I say technology is a great thing. Social media is a very interesting.
The media is the one that's really killing it right now.
I think that's just it, though. It's a reaction by the national media, where again you've already lost a lot of people's trust in it, and again with social media, where how fast news can travel, where again,
how much bowl can travel.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, where what you're seeing on Twitter isn't 100% accurate. Again, where you go back to the days where, hey, Wikipedia wasn't the most accurate thing. You had to question what was being printed on that, at least, website, where you still got to, here in 2020, you still got to live that life of that tweet of, hey, these numbers are growing. You kind of have to question.
But you may have, and I know we got to get to our first guest coming up here in just a couple of seconds. But the thing is too, Nick, what happens when that first coronavirus case happens? Out of the clear blue, do we cancel? I mean, do we shut it down right then?
I think.
If there
it could be a good reality that it could.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm not saying it should, but I think again, where if he's saying, hey, a false spike happens, where again media is going to latch onto that. Hey, here it is, September time, where possibly college football is underway. Football's underway for NFL. Start to get into the swing of things with NHL and NBA. But yeah, once that first case happens, you might get that panic.
But here's how much crap is being spewed right now. When this first came out, the coronavirus, it wasn't a bad thing for kids. All of a sudden now it's affecting kids. I mean, come on, Dr. Fauci. You give us one piece of information, you give us another piece of information, you tell us that it could spike again. It's like, give me a break. Quit giving us the bad news all the time. Why don't you give us the good news, like states like Wyoming, Idaho, and Utah? Hey, you guys have done the right things, and the social distancing is perfect, and by golly, you guys should be able to get back to normal without any problems.
Well, again, he or at least the states have been left up to their own discretion.
I know, but anytime he opens his mouth.
It's the reason why we did not stay at home the entire way, where only, again, the essential businesses were open supposedly, but again, it's something where we weren't as drastic as Illinois or California or New York, or I guess the state of New York.
Because of the huge population.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, but again, it's been up to the state, so it's something where you got to rely on what you have in place. But it brings up a bigger argument where, again, here we are, election year, so to speak, especially for kind of the main election. But hey, if you're not happy with what's going on in your city, your county, your state, or again what you think is happening in the nation, then make your voice heard.
Well, and I think
get him out of the power.
I also think it's time to remove this Dr. Fauci. I think he's a big pain in the arse. Yeah. To be real honest,
his job's been on the line since I think day one.
Yeah, but you know what? He's been under
criticized
three presidents now: Bush, Obama, as well as President Trump, and the guy continues to still cry wolf all the time, and we buy it. Yeah. And we buy it because we are even worse in 2020 than we were back in 2004. All right, we do need to take a timeout. We are going to come back with our first and only guest for today, and we'll be back right after this. 10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. The Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We get to bring on our guest today. He is the head coach of the 18 and under Cheyenne Extreme, that being Adam Galicia, a good friend of ours who's been joining us on the program quite a bit. Coach, it's good to have you back. And I guess the first question out of the box for me is, has practice been a little different this year?
Well, yeah, it's hold on, let me see something going on my phone here. Let me
Are you getting like a text message while we're doing the show?
Well, I got you on my phone, but there, did it go away? All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's practice been a little bit different. We going into last week. Actually, when we got to groups of 10, we were able to do some split practices, and we were having to go out in the parks. The city's finally opened up the fields this last Friday. Still, they have some restrictions of basically one coach to 8 players on a field. Tomorrow it's going to open up to 25 people on the field, which is going to help us out a little bit, but it still doesn't help us to get to competition yet.
How much of a disruption? And again, I use that word tongue in cheek because it's been a trying time for all of us, Coach. But as you are trying to again still teach the fundamentals of the game and keep your players crisp, and you got certain drills you want to do. How much of a distraction has this all been to you, where you can't really do a complete practice? You just can't get a lot of work done when you have to, go in different groups.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, myself, my coaches, and the whole team, our priorities are what's going on in the world or keeping our families safe and stuff, but we still want to try to get as much work in as we can. And hold on, something's coming on again here.
I think Coach has a little echoes. I think that's what's going on with the phone, possibly.
Okay, I think are we good there? All right.
We can still hear you, Coach.
Okay, so we're obviously been trying. We tried the Zoom thing. That's just tough. You can't really. It's not the same as being there. A lot of the girls were getting some work in, but it's nothing like being there with Coach. And actually just being a little bit more accountable for the reps that you're getting, the cardio, the conditioning. That's the thing that we've been focusing on. We've been together 3 or 4 times now, and we really focus on the cardio, and it's amazing how quick it's coming back. And obviously we're not where we want to be skills-wise, but we're just going to have to make adjustments. The girls are really excited. They're working hard. We had a Tuesday night. We got going practice. Before you knew it, 3.5 hours had gone by, and we're like, maybe we got to shut this down now. But so they're excited, they're eager, and we're ready to work.
Coach, what are some of the limitations as we went over the guidelines, and we even talked with Mayor Orr about what the city's plan was for kind of the foreseeable future, at least following Laramie County Health, at least officials' recommendations during this time. But looking at some of those guidelines of 6, players were supposed to be at least 6 feet apart, masks were supposed to be worn, and again, having one of those surgical masks or masks just in general, especially as you're talking doing cardio, again, not the greatest thing for getting in air into those lungs, or at least, again, not very conducive to cardio workouts. But what have some of the guidelines kind of done to at least hinder some of these practices that, in back in normal life, say back in 2019, hey, we were able to. What have you kind of noticed with these guidelines?
Well, it's definitely affected our cardio. I mean, the way we our normal warm-ups, the way we run bases, we've had to make a lot of adjustments. But I think when you want to excel, when you as a coach, if you're not constantly learning to help your team excel, we've learned some different things that are studied some different things that we can do. We'd spread the girls out probably 3 times what they need to be, anywhere from 15 to 20 feet. When we're doing our sprints, when we're doing our base running, we've allowed, instead of going from home to first with everybody's lining up on a base, and the way we're rotating, we've got a system down now, and the girls that are on deck are, they're waiting back their distance 8 to 12 to 15 feet, and you find a way to adjust, and that's what the good teams do, and that's what the teams that want to be successful. Instead of sitting there dwelling on it, what we can't do, is we find a way to make it happen.
Adam Galicia, head coach of the 1800 Cheyenne Extreme, joining us here on 1480 KRAE on Sports Talk. Adam, real quick here, as we look at your getting prepared, but is there a date? Do we have a team? I mean, is there anything scheduled right now? What do you know?
Well, we were hoping that this last meeting was going to get us up to the, as of tomorrow, we were hoping to be able to be up to the 50-person mark, and that way we could schedule some double headers, and they were going to be with no fans in the bleachers, but with the teams and the coaches. And so as of tomorrow, we can have 25 people on the field. And the city's come out and said that they're not going to allow any games or scrimmages till at least through May, and they'll reevaluate at the end of the month. At the end of the month, it looks like May 30th, they're going to up the limit to 50 people on the field, and so probably that following week, I've had a lot of teams from Colorado, Nebraska, where everybody's networking, trying to figure out who can do what. They want to come down and play, and but with the city, basically shutting it down for this month, hopefully that first week of June, we'll get some home doubleheaders with some Nebraska teams and Colorado teams. Tournament-wise, it's still up in the air. A lot of Colorado's been shut down till June 1st. A lot of them are shutting down till July 1st. Nebraska's shut down pretty much till, I believe, June 18th. And, there's things happening in Wyoming, but and some of our, like the coaches, myself and my son, we have travel restrictions from work. We can't travel, so we can only travel 2 hours, and then we have to self-quarantine it due to the base guidelines out at the Air Force Base. We have a couple other parents that have travel restrictions with their jobs, too. So that's affecting how far we can actually go, and there's nowhere close in Wyoming. I mean, go up to Gillette, and we exceed travel restrictions. The farthest we could go is Casper. So there's so much thinking that's going into it right now, just trying to set a schedule. We're just hoping to get a lot of home games right now.
Well, again, Adam, as we look at the American Legion, where some teams have kind of been putting up votes of will they even continue on with the season. We just got word about a couple hours ago, Laramie Rangers basically said that they'll foot a Double-A team and that they will play American Legion baseball, or at least they're interested in doing it and starting up practice. But, in the state of Wyoming, where, again, as we know that high school softball is going to be a thing here very soon, and these cities around the state have been developing teams, or at least recruiting and trying to develop, Laramie, or as you mentioned, Gillette's of the world, Casper, Cody, Green River, Rock Springs, all that. Have you gotten any word on teams that have basically said, hey, we're not competing, and again, that's kind of a one less team to at least play a doubleheader with, or all teams in Wyoming try to get some competition in this season?
Yeah, definitely the word around the state is that a lot of the teams are going to try to get some competition in. I'm not really sure, like Laramie's got an 18 and under team now. A lot of these towns that you mentioned, because of the high school softball, are going to try to do some stuff in the summer, but it's more in preparation for the high school season. They're not really looking to do a lot of heavy competition. But I'm reaching out to all of them, and hopefully we can entice some of them to actually come to Cheyenne and get some games. We got a good reputation here, so we're hoping to entice them here to just come see what another level of softball is like.
Adam, again, with the schedule not even in place for just about anybody, has there been talk amongst coaches, especially from the Colorado and as well as the Cheyenne Extreme? Obviously you play a lot of tournaments in Colorado. Has there been sort of like Major League Baseball, where they're using Arizona and Florida as open states right now for everybody to come on down and play? So what I'm saying is Loveland throwing out the red carpet saying we'll be the host to all of these events, or Denver, Cherry Creek, whatever the case may be, even Cheyenne. I mean, are we even opening our doors to say, hey, we can have as many games here as we want?
Yeah, actually there is talk like that. It's going to be, Colorado's going to be tough. Like I said, Loveland's closed down until I believe July 1 now. A lot of the Colorado areas are not really opening up, so they're I've been talking to the head people in the USSSA, so they're asking if we open up, is there a possibility of moving some of those tournaments up this way? And obviously we're going to have to, with the protocols that are in place, we're probably going to have to downsize some tournaments. May just run a 16s and 18s tournament. We're at a fourplex like Converse, you can only put 8 teams on there. It takes one field to do pool play on one day. So, if we could only run 2 fields, then obviously that limits us to 8 teams. And if we could use Converse and Bremer, we can, at least bring the high school age girls up and get some in. So we've been in talks about that, and a lot of that's just going to depend how soon the city opens up. We got to get to that basically 250 person limit before we really start seeing anything more than double headers. 50 people. Most teams have about 13 to 15 players with 3 coaches times 2 teams. And then umpires. You're looking at over 30 people right there. Then you add your scorekeepers and stuff, and you're anywhere from 35 to 40 people, which doesn't leave any room for more than 2 teams to get together. That's without fans.
Yeah, certainly those numbers mount up at a point in time where it is something that all these teams, cities have to definitely look into, of trying to figure out how we get this underway and get some at least games under their belt. But, outside of the local and regional tournaments, or at least options for the Cheyenne Extreme, now we know on the American Legion side, and also to Connie Mack, or at least those that affect Post 6 and Triple Crown Wyoming and other teams here locally. But, for softball, as we alluded to and talked about a couple of months ago, that you were interested of going to a national tournament out in California. We know that you, in years past, have gone out to the tournament, or the national tournament out in the state of Florida. Have those national tournaments shut down, or are some of those still an option at a point in time this season for the Cheyenne Extreme?
Well, there's still most of the national tournaments are still moving forward. The reality is, like the California one, I mean, like you guys were talking earlier, look what's happening out there in California with the colleges. They're shutting down their programs, and LA's shut down till what? I can't remember what they were, August 1st, July 1st, if not later.
I think it was to be determined out there.
Okay, but it's going to be tough. We've got some money already paid towards that, non-refundable money. But the reality is the health and welfare of our team is priority. We did a Zoom call with Triple Crown this last week, and they had about 13 to 15 of the top 30 18U coaches in the country were on there from around the country, talking about what their programs are doing. And 75% of them in the same boat as us. They can't get on fields. They can't get out and practice. So the reality is it's tough to commit to go play in these national tournaments when you you haven't put in the time. So a lot of those teams are looking to, instead of going to nationals, they're going to stay regional now. So they're going to stay within driving distance of their hometowns. 4 to 6 hours is max. And anything that they have to get on an airplane to go do, they're not going to do. And so everybody's just trying to find a way to get through this season now and get some games under their belt.
Final thought for me, Adam, and this has got to be tough for the entire Cheyenne Extreme organization. Everybody, I mean, but our organization in particular, again, it's a very close-knit group, especially more with the kids and the parents, because, you almost can turn around and there's parental support to make sure that these young ladies are always taken care of. How devastated are the parents right now, or relatives, just knowing that, yeah, my daughter's going to get to play, but I can't pull up a lawn chair and watch my daughter, in her final season play this season. I mean, this has just got to be gut-wrenching to the parents right now.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, by the time you get to this level at the 18, I mean, this has been a lifelong commitment for you for the last anywhere from 8 to 10 years. This is what you do. Your body clock is telling you we should be out at a tournament this weekend somewhere. By this time right now, today, we've probably already played 35 to 40 games, and we haven't even. We're barely getting in the dirt this week. So a lot of the parents, yeah, they want to be out there, and they bond with each other, and not only is it there to support their daughters, but they support everybody, and we're a big family, so it is real tough, when you have 55 to 60 people that are traveling every weekend to go somewhere, and we're eating together, we're sleeping in hotels together, it's part of who you are, and people are missing that. They really are.
Well, Adam, we want to thank you for joining us today. Do appreciate it. We got our fingers crossed that in addition to getting back on the field, we can get some good drills in, we can get some good practices in, and then one of these days, guy behind the plate's going to say, play ball. So we're looking forward to that time, and hopefully it'll be soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Adam Galicia joined us here on 1480 KRAE, 1800 Extreme manager for the Cheyenne Extreme. And, again, it's just you shake your head, Nick. I mean, 2020, who would have thunk? You know, again, you made the great question. Last year at this time, 2019, even he said it too. You know, about this time, we've already got 35 games under our belt. And, I mean, who would have thought 2020 and everything just is gone?
What kind of stupid question is that? Where, again, you can't really predict the future. So, again, could something like this happen?
You know what, Nick? We've gone every year. We've gone every year without a hitch.
I'm just saying, again, as life changes, life's evolving, and, again, new things happen in human existence, you know, again, only time will tell. Again, will something like this happen in my lifetime? As, again, I'm 3 months or at least away from turning 30, where, again, I still got plenty of years left. Could something like this again happen in my lifetime? You never know. Who would have thought of this? But again, now with this happening, you got the data, you got the analysts, you got the understanding of, all right, this is how you approached it in 2020. This is how we approach it later down the line. If this happens ever again, hopefully it does not. But as of right now, again, it's good to see. Again, it's small steps forward. Obviously, a lot of people want that large leap, or basically just try to get back to some normalcy. Basically say, hey, let them just go play ball and have fun. But obviously, again, you're going to have pushback. It is that fine line fence right now where you're trying to decide, or folks are trying to figure out, do we cross that line and just say, yeah, screw it, we're just going to do our own thing. But
well, it's not even a matter of screw it.
But again, it's a small step forward. It's good to see. You know, again, for the past 2 months, those individuals have been cooped up at home, or at least the only drills that they've been able to do is with
working
family.
out on themselves. Yeah.
So right now, again, they're able to get on those fields where, you know, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we were having a conversation saying, why are they still closed? Or
why are they locked up?
Yeah, so here they are open to teams, to individuals, or whoever makes those requests to get on out there and go play, or at least go practice, so to speak. But when these games get underway, and I think it is now a question of when they do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a matter of, you know, will it, or I believe that, especially here in this area, we will see post six in action. We will see Cheyenne Extreme.
If we do, the question is, like you said, when, how, and again, too, could both of these, and I don't want to be Mr. Negative Nelly here, but let's be real. We're into mid-May, okay? Mid-May. School starts at the end of August, okay? If you keep pushing back the season to June, July, what are you going to play every night? And that's cool if you do, I guess. It's summertime. But the point is, are these young ladies and the young men out there right now just practicing and just, you know, at least getting some exercise?
And again, that's
for right now.
That is the big question of right now of, will it all be for nothing? Again, we talked with Mayor Orr about it 2 days ago, and again, I brought it up of, is this going to be all for nothing? And you would hope that it's not. I feel like it's not going to be, as you're seeing, again, with Brain Trust, whether it is the Cheyenne Extreme, with American Legion here in the state of Wyoming, or again, any of these teams in this kind of regional area. They're trying to figure out a plan right now. They're trying to be, again, as Adam talked about, yes, there are cities, not so much Loveland or some of these other majors around this area, but again, there are cities saying, yeah, we're willing to bring in these teams.
Yeah, but again, it's not up to, again, softball or fast pitch or American Legion don't write the checks. It's the states. It's the individual communities. If I heard Adam right, Loveland shut down. And they're going to be shut down to July. Well, what's to say they're not going to back that up again either? Again, everything.
All right, you don't go to Loveland.
I know, but you got
How simple is that? Again, when there's a will, there's a way. Again, if you're going to find a loophole, as I've kind of mentioned, where again,
there are no loopholes.
These are not laws.
I know, but these aren't loopholes, Nick.
But I'm just saying though, nothing is really stopping any team.
But
If they
but
wanted
all
to,
these-
if there was a team that wanted to go, and it's kind of like, not saying that Cody Beers went rogue of the American Legion, but said, hey, no matter what, we're going to have a season. I don't know how long it's going to be, but here, and again, this was a month or so ago, saying even when things were a little bit more drastic back then, where again it seemed like everything was very uncertain, that was during that time where he basically kind of went and said, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to find a way to do it.
That's a good case in point.
And again, you don't think that there's teams out there, there's not cities, there's not leagues, there's not something like that are looking into this to go, hey, we're gonna do our own thing.
All right, well, that's fine. And let's just use Gillette as an example. Hey, everybody could play up in Gillette, right? And that's great. They're not going to let you play at Powers Field, but you can go up and play in Gillette. But like Adam said, him and his son, they're restricted. And how long are they going to be restricted? When is that going to be lifted so they can go more than 2 hours?
Okay, so they are, but maybe someone on the board could take an opportunity. Again, where we live in this day in technology, where could they just have an iPad or something like that, put Coach on virtually, there he is, he's in the dugout. You could absolutely do that. I'm not saying that's going to be a reality, but
no,
again,
I know. It's just,
you think this is the time where you think outside of the box.
I understand.
You don't do what was happening in 2019. You do what's right now in 2020, where you adjust with life. You got to go with how things are. And again, if that's what Coach needs to do, I think that's probably something they've looked into. Or again, hey, one of the board members, hey, you know the drills, or you've been a part of this. We can't go that far, but can you? So these girls, these young ladies, can go and play some softball. I think Coach would make that sacrifice. I think Coach would think outside that box to go and do something like that. Absolutely. I think you are not regulated by law. If these teams go out and do this or go play games against these cities or whatever, I doubt that these cities are going to lock up 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds because, they were not 6 feet apart or they just wanted to go play a game. It's kind of like folks out where, again, I've talked about in town at our local park, the park, or at least the playground's supposed to be closed. Even at the school, at Sunrise and whatnot, you still see kids out there enjoying it, and you see families out there.
You know why? Because the air is not bad.
Yeah.
And the air is not bad in Nebraska, and the air is not bad in Colorado, except if we go to Denver. But other than that, the air is not bad. But no one wants to be the leader. Like Wyoming. Again, this is up to the government now. This is not up to Larry Peroletti, and it's not up to Cody Beers, and it's not up to Adam Galicia.
Well, and
it's up to the government to say
that's kind of a scary thing.
But no, here's the drill though, Nick. All these teams play on fields. They're not their fields. Converse is not Adam Galicia or the Extreme's field. It was built for the Extreme, but it's still city owned. And you can't play until you are given the green light. So anytime a green light...
Again.
Right now there's no green light, Nick. Right now everything's in caution
I get that,
mode.
but again, you don't think that there could be, again, whether the Extreme want to do it or, again, any other team, hey, screw you, City of Cheyenne, or screw you, whatever, blank city, we're going to step on that field and we're going to play a game. I don't care.
And what's going to happen? They're going to get shut down. I mean, you're just not... that's a stupid thing you just said. Law enforcement will shut you down.
Will they?
They're not going to cite you. They're going to say, you can't play. Game over.
What law are they breaking?
If the city says you can't play on their field, you can't play on their field.
You, as, again, an individual saying, hey, we got to get out and play, or at least don't listen to, or at least we got to open up.
I'm being on the devil's advocate side. I'm just telling you. You got to wait until everything, right now, again, if you're playing stoplight, red, yellow, and green, we're in that middle part. We're in the caution zone. What's to say?
If I owe some land out here in this part of the world, this would be a perfect opportunity to create those field of dreams of saying, hey, if you're out in the county, hey, we'll just do our own thing.
Well, just because you're out in the county,
you're seeing restaurants out in the county go, hey, we're not following your orders. People come on in.
Well, and then eventually, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it.
I don't see. I can't see that police department or sheriffs would do that.
You know what? Again, if it's not open for play, again, the city owns the fields. It's the city ownership. Again, even when it's my tax dollars, the city owns it.
So again, you're going to back up of what you said 2 days ago, saying, "Hey, well, these fields own to us." Well, now you're going to go,
if it's locked, you can't play on it, right? They've locked Converse. Now they're open.
You're telling me you can't jump that fence out there?
Well, if you have everybody jump the fence, fine. And the law enforcement will unlock the fence. They're going to come over and tell you can't play. What are you going to do? You're going to say, hey, here, grab a beer, sit down, watch the game? It ain't going to happen. I mean, we can have this debate. We can have this argument. I'm like you.
I'm just saying,
I think
you were the one complaining about this, and now you're retracting.
I am complaining about it. But I'm just telling you, this is why I got a problem. You got people in government telling us what we can and can't do. It's not a law. And what happens is it's not law, but all of a sudden somebody says, well, we don't want you playing there. We're going to lock it up. That tells me it's a law, isn't it? You can't play if it's locked up.
Yeah.
So, again, we're getting all these mixed signals, and it's all coming from that goofball Fauci. Case closed. We got to wrap things up here.
Plain and simple, when these elected officials at least come up for their term, you take care of it then. If you're unhappy, do something about it.
Well, like I said,
plain and simple.
I would hope where we're at the caution
If you think
light,
Governor Gordon's not doing a good job during this whole thing, get him out of there.
where we're at on the traffic light of caution right now, I would hope it's going to go green shortly. I would hope by the end of the month we get the green light and boom, we're ready to go. And again, if this
again, we were supposed to get that green light at the end of April.
I understand that, but if we hear about this second wave of coronavirus, for those of you out there that are paranoid about it, hey, power to you. But folks, I'm going to tell you the same thing. I think coronavirus comes in two forms: winter as well as in fall.
A country that's based up, or at least again, was founded on individual rights, or at least individuals where again it's something.
Well,
where
we fought for our independence.
Yeah, without a doubt. Where I think it should be a scenario, and again, hopefully this is something where we see other states get into, or at least it's kind of the notion where no one's forcing you to go outside. If you're that scared, or if you're in that high percentage, at least area that is going to be affected by this, or at least have your life
affected by it,
big time, without a doubt, I think you should self-quarantine yourself, or at least we should pay attention to that. If you're in that low percentile, it should be up to your individual right to decide. Either you stay in or you go out.
If you're sickly and you catch a bug, or
because I don't think this could sustain for much longer.
I know, but if you catch the flu, hey, you're going to probably get it again. Right. And if you got coronavirus, I don't know if you're going to get it again. But again, if there's two waves and you didn't get it the first time around, you're not going to get it the second time either. You're probably healthy enough not to get it.
Supposedly, if you got the antibodies, you should be good.
Yeah, well, all right. We got to wrap things up. Again, we do apologize that we did not have CFD President, CEO Tom Hirsig joining us. He got called away to an emergency meeting. He will join us again. We'll start rolling back into our program here slowly but surely. Tom will be joining us.
Will we, though? Again, there's not much going on.
Probably at the beginning of next month is when we'll start.
That's next month, but for next week, again, it'll still be sporadic of the show.
We'll be inching back into it.
Because, again, obviously it is inching day by day, where we're not going to look back at the history. We're going to, again, go forward and say, hey, this is closed down, this is opening up.